Hey, good morning. Hey, I'm back. Back again. Martin's back. Martin's back. God help us. So, it's recording. That's just to get me warmed up. I've just got in, I got myself a coffee, and I've got so many things spinning around my head. I'm feeling very motivated. It's amazing. Somebody said to me last night when I got in on one of the clips, he said, it's incredible to see somebody of your age, no disrespect, he said, somebody of your age go from being down and depressed in a couple of days to being motivated. And I thought, well, that's the nature of my psyche. You know, people used to think that I was bipolar, up one minute, down the next. And my ex-girlfriend, God bless her, she's lovely, was with her for 10 years, maybe 11, actually longer than that. I forgot, I didn't get, she counted, I didn't. But she was a really good friend, probably one of the best friends I've ever had. And we went our own ways in the end. But she said to me that I had the ability to bring people up with me in 1 minute and down the next. And she thought I was bipolar, and my mother used to agree with her. And but she said, then once you've brought everybody down, you can go back up again, and you're wondering why everybody's down and you're up. And I said, no, it's not. You don't understand. It's not because I'm bipolar. It's because I'm a Gemini. And Geminis, you know, that's their nature. Up 1 minute, down the next. They you know, they say that Geminis are two-faced. It's not that they're two-faced. It's that they're multi-faced, multifaceted. They have different faces for the mood that they're in, and they can switch moods from 1 minute to the next. Up and down. I know, I've lived with it all my life. But that makes you bipolar then. No, it's not. It's because I'm a Gemini. I'm convinced. And with that in the mind, a very important, significant astrological event happened this year for the Gemini. And it's happened to me twice before, and in those previous occasions, which is a 12-month window. Because you see, Jupiter, the planet, goes round the sun once every 12 years, right? The Earth goes round once a year. Mercury, for instance, goes round the sun 4 times a year. It's the fastest planet in the zodiac, and it whizzes round. Jupiter is like a planet of Zal, of good luck, right? And when it's with your sign, somewhere along that year, because it spends 12 months with you and it moves on to the next one, when it's with you, you get windfalls. And in both previous occasions, it happened to me. I got £26,000 once when I was younger for a redundancy payment. And the last time it was me, I got a £40,000 payoff to sod off, to get out the business. I've had enough of you. Get out. I said, I'm not going. He said, we'll pay you to go. How much? 40k. All right, ta-da. I ran. That was around with the time when my mum passed away. But my brother's a Gemini as well, and I've explained this to him, and he's had some bad luck in recent times. But this year, when the Jupiter came into Gemini, I told him, I said, don't worry, your luck's going to change. Trust me, Jupiter's with you. And he was going up. He was really, really miserable and down. He'd lost his job. In the previous years, he'd split up with his missus. He'd lost the house. He'd lost everything. And but I said, don't worry. I said, it's going to come back. And at the beginning of this year, he got himself a new job in London, 110 grand. But he lost that one after 6 months because he sat back and relaxed too much, and they got rid of him. And he's back down again. I said, don't worry. I said, this is your year. And he wouldn't have it. And then about 2 weeks after I said that, he got a new job, 80k a year. I know these things. But the thing is, I'm a Gemini too. And it hasn't happened to me yet. So where's my bloody money? Where's it coming? And I don't know how things happen and why things happen the way they do. But I'm feeling motivated this week. And probably next week I'll be down again. You know what I mean? But they say, don't they? They say that before, you know, after, what is it? Before the light can shine, you have to experience the dark night before. Something like that. Anyway, so I'm feeling a bit lucky at the moment, and I think it's got something to do with the fact of me going on this channel and deciding to upload all the videos that I've made in the past, because I've made these videos and I thought I'll edit them and I'll put them in and then I'll do it, but I could never get around to editing them because it does take a lot of time. So I thought, sod it, just go raw, you know, let people see you are. You can't change that, which brings me on to another story. But just put the videos in, and that's what I've been doing, and I'm getting feedback, and I'm sure I'm saying stupid things and whatever, but I don't mean to. But you know, that I can blame that nature of me on my parents. Yeah, you can't blame your parents. I do. And I tell you, if you think you're a bit balmy in the head, look to your parents, because whatever craziness they have had in their lives comes into your life. I promise you. You are a product of your parents' craziness. So in my case, right, I've got my Irish old fella, you know, and if you're the son of an Irishman who's born in England or anywhere in England, you'll know what I'm on about, especially if they came over in the 60s. You know, my dad came over, I think, early 60s and met me mum. That's another story. I'll tell you about that one day. You won't believe it. But my old fella was a painter, and he was my hero, my dad. Well, this is the time, this is the heyday when George Best was there. He was having it. It was Northern Irish were here, and they were making a presence in the whole country. And I remember sitting around the breakfast table on a Sunday morning. We used to have hard-boiled eggs with toast, and my dad would have the Sun newspaper. And he'd be talking, you know, I was sitting there, I was 4 years old, listening to my dad talking about football, George Best this, and he said how brilliant he was. He said he doesn't need a football team, he's a football team on his own right. And I remember, and in those days we used to have like a little cartoon in the mirror or something. He had the sun in the mirror, and it was a little man hiding in the picture. And I was, you know, when he got to that page, he'd opened it up and he'd call us round and say, "Find the man." I didn't know what he was on about. And then he pointed out to us, and we go, "Ah, little man," a picture of a little man, a face. I don't know if you remember that. But I wanted to be like my dad so much. So I wanted to be so much. Loved him. My dad was a good-looking fella, humorous, fit as anything. My dad had high jump and long jump records for under 15 schoolboys in Northern Ireland, and brilliant footballer. When he came over, he had trials for Arsenal, and they offered him he ended up in Nick though for fighting. Got deported back to Ireland, and he came straight back again under a different name. And I've got that bloody name. It means nothing to me. Anyway. And he said I really wanted to be like my dad. So, you know, he had a shed in the back garden, and every time they did a job somewhere, you know, he'd come back with a bit of paint, whatever was left over. So I went in the shed one day, because I remember him putting the shed up, and in those days, you'd have like these jars, jam jars, and you'd put nails in the lid, and you'd screw nail the lid to the roof, and then you'd screw the jar onto it, so you'd have all these nails hanging from the roof. It was a thing. I don't know how we learned about that, but that's what they used to do. And you'd go in there and had all these tins of paint, and I picked up a tin of red paint, half tin, and a paintbrush. It was only 4, and I come all the way around the back entry, round to the front door, and I started painting the front door in red gloss. I never forget, I was so pleased with myself. I was transforming this black door that he'd obviously painted. It was a beautiful black door, and I was painting it red. And the next thing I know, the door's opened. And he said, "What the effing hell are you doing, you pox puddle?" And that's when I became a pox puddle. If you're a son of an Irishman, you know what it means. It scars you for life. I'm a pox puddle. What have I done wrong? I didn't do anything. What have I done wrong? That was my attitude. I had to stand in the corner for about an hour. They called me all the names under the sun. Anyway, yeah. But if you're a son of an Irishman, then you're either going to be what you call a plastic paddy, right? If you're born in England. Plastic paddy, or you're going to be called in my case, born in Birmingham, I'm called a mutton dummy. So there's all sorts of names that I get called. You're plastic, when he's like affectionate towards me, I'm a plastic paddy. He'll say, you're 99% Irish, but you won't admit it. I said, I'm not. I'm born in Birmingham, in English. Drives me mad. And I said, and then if you're thick, right, you're a mutton dummy. Why? Because it rhymes with Brummy. He won't say Brummy. He'll say, "You're a mutton dummy, yeah." That I got called that every day for 50 years. So, it varies from plastic paddy, mutton dummy, pox puddle. That's why it's made me the way I am. And but in the last couple of days, I'm trying activating a lot of things. In the past I've tried things and they just fall down. A lot to do with my knowledge of technology. But I battle on, and I did do computer studies as a kid at school, and I learnt all about the binary and the if and or not, all the Boolean algebra and everything. That's what they taught us in those days. Only boring as hell. Just sit there going, why do I need to know all this? I just want to get on and play games. You know what I mean? They didn't have those in those days. We just had the Space Invaders that you put 10 pence in, your whole pocket money that you get £1 for your pocket money, and the whole lot would go in 5 minutes, and that was it. Pocket money. But so when the internet came along and everything, it was very. I was an early adopter, actually, of the internet. In 1996, I got on the internet. I was compelled to go and get a computer. I went into debt for it. And I think it was an old 286 that I got. It was great, all singing, all dancing kind of like computer. But recently, these affiliate marketing programs. So I wanted to do Amazon affiliate marketing. And in the past, I've got so far in the process of registering, and only for it to fall over on something. It's often to do with, if you want to be an influencer or an affiliate, or something like that, you've got to have a place where you're marketing, you know what I mean? And I haven't got a place. So you need either a YouTube channel, you need a Facebook group or something like that where you've got a big following. And last night I thought, I'm going to have a go again. And I got through the process and I got to the end. And it's because I was able to provide the information from my bank. And I recently transferred to Monzo. It's another story. And in Monzo I could find the IBAN. You need the IBAN number. And I found it. And I put that in, tickety-boo, I'm away. So I thought, oh, I'm going to make some money out of this. You know, wherever you've got a footprint, you put your affiliates. But at one of the places, well, I've got to tell you a little brief story. I'll do a whole video on it soon. When eBay, everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? When eBay cut all my listings, I panicked, and I thought I've got to get a job to support this business, because if I can't pay my way, then I lose the lot. And I thought, I'm not like that, you know. You get up and go and sort this out. So I looked around. I couldn't find anything. I ended up doing a bit of temporary. I was driving a Luton van for the 2020 contract, which was, you know, when the 2020 games. I was picking up the cricket bags for all the cricket teams and transferring them between practicing places at the actual cricket ground in Edgbaston. And that was good. I enjoyed that. It only lasted for 3 weeks though. And in the end, at the end of it, when it came to end, I went a bit cranky on them. So they got rid of it. One of the other things I was looking around for driving jobs. This bus job kept coming up for National Express, and I applied for that. I got it, and they trained me to be a bus driver, a minibus driver, and I got the D1 licence. But along their line, I started to realise that what I needed was some kind of flexibility where I could work when I wanted to work, and it was taxi driving. John Fitzgerald, you know what I'm on about. I spoke to you about it. You were one of the ones that inspired me with the video channel that you had on it. So I checked it out and everything, and along the way I wanted to do some research, so I joined all the taxi groups. And there was one group, obviously the one I wanted to join, there's one in Birmingham, so I joined that, and I asked a question. But every question that you put in there was filtered and held back for approval. Only this, I was desperately waiting for the answer to this question. And one day went by, a week went by, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by, I lost my head. And I found the admin guy, and I sent him a message. Why don't you bloody approve my message? And he replied to say, sorry mate, he said, I used to be a taxi driver, I'm not a taxi driver anymore. He said, I've moved on. He said, I'm trying to find somebody to run the group. I said, I'll run it. And he transferred it to me. And this group, at the time, had about 2,000 Pakistani taxi drivers in it. It wasn't active. It was just people posting, adverts for taxi cars and, you know, brand new minibuses and things like that. So all that kind of thing. So, rent this car, rent that car. I didn't know much about the industry. I was in the research stage. So I took this group on, I tidied it up a little bit, and I started approving the posts. And since then, it's grown to 3,500 people. And these posts that are going in there, there's one guy a couple of weeks ago begging, because I took a couple of weeks off from approving these posts, and this one guy's begging me to post this post. And he said, I'll pay you. He said, I'll pay you. He said, I'll pay you. And that's when I started realising I've got something here that I could possibly monetize. So follow me, because I'm going to monetize that channel. And I've had some ideas on how I'm going to do it, which has triggered the affiliate marketing thing, which I achieved last night. So I'm thinking of basically saying, you know, learning the affiliate marketing program, copying the products, however you do it, I think it's through a link, and putting it into this group. And I'm going to do things like, you know, car seat covers and car mats and windscreen wipers and air fresheners and sick bags, that kind of thing. Because these are genuine items that they need, and I'm going to research them, and I'm going to offer some advice and work on the assumption that they don't have time to go shopping. And if they do, then it means they're not driving and earning. So I'm going to keep them driving, sweat your vehicles, sweat your asset. I'll find the products for you. As long as it's a good deal, I'll offer them to you, and I'll get a slice of the purchase. You've got to be upfront with them and tell them that's what you're doing, but that's how I'm going to monetize that account, if I can. But I started to realise, you know, there's somebody's putting in a brand new they've got these brand new VW minibuses, electric ones now, and they're putting them up for sale in there, and I'm thinking, aye, you know, if you give me 0.5% of commission, I'll let you advertise in the group, I'm thinking. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I shall do some more videos on it. But last night, I got this affiliate link, and I also made a video yesterday, some of you may have seen it, where I used some software that I've had for some time to cut up a video and take out all the gaps. It was when I was putting this up. That's the video. And I did it with an app that I've had for some time. And it gave me the opportunity to experience or to use the AI part of the app for free once. And I did it on a messing about video. I was, you know, an old stupid video that I had. And it cut it all up, and I thought, oh gosh, that's interesting. And to activate the pro version, it's a one-off purchase, not one-off, it says annual purchase of 14 quid, discounted by 65%. But there's a one-off purchase, a £46 purchase that you can make where that's it, a one-off life. But the app is really good. It's basic, but it does the job. You know, you can get, if I can video something, I'll probably video this one. I'll use this video to demonstrate what I mean. You basically just take the video card from this, upload it into my computer, download it to my phone, because you have to use it on your phone. Use your phone to edit it, and then extract the video, upload it into YouTube. Well, hey, win a chicken dinner. Quite okay. 3 steps, 4 steps involved, but easy. So I can understand it. And, you know, I'm very challenged on TikTok. I love watching TikTok, but, you know, after about 5 minutes, there's so much nonsense on there. You get overwhelmed with it, and it'll affect your mental health. You get also, I only I swipe past the rubbish. And but how I got TikTok was because my nephew, when he was 7 years old, about 6, 7 years ago, I went to visit my brother and him, and we were having a weekend together, and we were talking about internet and things like that. And I said to him, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" You know, it's every question you ask a little 6 or 7 year old kid, don't you? He said, "I want to be an influencer." I said, "Oh." He said, "I want to be an influencer." I said, "What's one of them?" He started to explain it. I didn't know what he was on about. I said, "Why don't you want to be a train driver?" "I wanted to be a train driver when I was your age." He said, "The train driver?" This is a 7 year old kid. He said, "A train driver?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How much does a train driver earn?" This is a 7 year old kid having a conversation with me, right? And I said, "Down in London, they're earning good money. They're on about 60 grand a year, aren't they? They do nothing. They're going to be working 3 days, 4 days a week soon." I said, "They do nothing. They just stand in the train at the front of the train, just watching us getting in a different zone with the headsets on. For 60 grand a year." He said, "I wouldn't get out of bed for that." I said, "What?" I couldn't believe what he was saying. He said, "I wouldn't get out of bed for that." 7 year old kid saying to me he wouldn't get out of bed for 60 grand a year to be paid to do nothing. I said, "What do you mean? Why do you thinking like that?" He said, "I want to be an influencer." I said, "Daniel, my brother, what's this on about? An influencer?" He said, "I don't know." Right? My brother's just as challenged as me on these things. He's 8 years younger, my brother, but he didn't understand what he was on about. So he got TikTok out. He had a TikTok, his phone, his mother got him a phone, he's opened it up, TikTok, and he showed me this girl, a stupid girl, in China or Japan or something. Stupid girl doing stupid things, like, what the hell is she doing? I said, this generation, I thought, my God. I said, I thought, I'll bite your tongue, right? I mean, you can't call him a pox bottle, right? Because he isn't. It's not his fault that his uncle's a pox bottle. His grandfather called him a pox bottle. So I bit my tongue, and I thought, what do you mean? He said, "She's making $21 million a year." And I picked up the phone, had a look, and I swiped. And I saw all the followers and all the likes and the comments, and I thought, my God. So that was when I started to realise that we're in a different world. For sure, if I was his age, I'd know all about it. It's playground talk, isn't it? They learn it in the playground at school. One kid is in the know, he learns something, he tells everybody, before you know it, the whole blooming school is like they all want to be influencers. What they're going to do when they're like 30, 40, we're going to be a world of influencers, and that's going to be the work. And everyone's going to be influencing each other. Oh, you go vote. Anyway, so I've got to go on TikTok. I've got to do TikTok because with my Shopify store, Shopify actually allow you to push all your listings onto TikTok, and it connects it very easily. And indeed, I did it. And but on the first day, I got 10 sales, and I thought, what's going on here? Sales, Dad, look at this. And they were ka-ching coming through. But every single one of them didn't have any postage. And they have an awkward way of setting up the postage. I'm kind of getting there to understand it. But it's a big undertaking to get all my listings in there. So I've got one day I'll do that as well. But I switched it off in the meantime because it kind of scared me. It was a bit like, eBay, but on eBay in the old days, but on steroids. And one of my customers told me the other day, she found me on Google. She came in, and at the end of it, she was having good rapport. And she said to me, "Get on TikTok, that's where it's happening." And I thought, okay, I've got to do that as well. But that's what I wanted to come on and talk about this morning. I made a couple of videos. Now there's another video. I'm going to upload those. I'm going to download them, and I've got another way of making videos from my desktop, which is using another piece of software I'm going to talk about. And it basically turns your mobile phone or whatever into a webcam. And of course, when you've got a mobile phone with 4K quality, the quality is amazing. Because the webcams I've got on my screen, they're 2K, they're absolutely shite, they're very grainy. But I'm going to use that to actually show you what it is that I'm going to do with these affiliate programs, with the other style of making videos, which is like like a video of me in the corner, just there, just there, a little, and then the rest of it is a recording of whatever you're watching on or whatever's on your desktop. So I can show you other things like the other software that I use, InkFrog. But that's a great tool. I want to show. I'm going to try and make a video today while I'm doing some work, so you can see what I mean. There are alternative versions out there which are perfect for the reselling community, and indeed, I think other resellers. I think what's his name, the young fella with the shed. What's his name? Retro reseller. Great videos he has. They all have great videos. I love them all. But I'm not a reseller. I'm selling haberdashery online, but I do have some stuff to sell. And I've got another eBay account, which I'll talk about. It's kind of dormant. I'm paying a monthly fee for it. I've got products in there, but nothing sells. Because I've got to go and do a major piece of work on it. I'll tell you. When I first started, I couldn't make up my mind. My OCD or my bipolar or being a Gemini or whatever it is, I just couldn't decide what I was going to do. I had two choices. I could either go down the route of the haberdashery, which I was familiar with from when I was a kid, or I could go and sell watches, because I had a friend whose brother was the best friend of another guy that we used to go. All of us used to go to school together, but they were a different generation, older generation. When I was 4 years old, influenced by my dad, I was in the boys' toilet. We're all in the boys' toilet at school, and in walks this kid, and I looked at him, and he was the image. To me, he looked just like Georgie Best. He was 2 years older than me, so he was 6 years old, like a big boy, and I'm down there. And I went up to him, and I said, "You look like Georgie Best." I didn't realise that he was a Man United fan, and he's been a lifelong United fan, and loved me for it. He went and got about 6 boys from his class and brought them into the toilet. And he said, "Say that again, what you just said." And I said, "You look like Georgie Best." And they was all like, "Ah!" That kind of thing. He turned out to be Europe's largest watch importer. He supplies Argos with all their watches. So I thought, I got a line in there. So I thought, get the volume on the haberdashery so that my postage will come down, and sell the high value stuff with the discounted postage to my advantage on the right hand side. So when I started both the haberdashery, I didn't know which one to work with first, so I set up both. And I went down to my mate, and I bought, I think I bought £1,000 worth of watch straps. And I put watch straps on that account to start it off with. Watches were going to be later, but I didn't know what I was doing with watch straps. Complicated business, trust me, it is. I've made a lot of mistakes in the early days with all the knickknacks, the sizes and everything, and the different variations of them. And I started the haberdashery, but the haberdashery boomed faster than the watch straps were steady, but it never really got traction or anything because I was putting all my time and effort into the haberdashery. So I've got this legacy account, which I want to switch into a reselling account. And I've started, but I've got to go back and do some work on it. And I use InkFrog to manage those 2 accounts along with Shopify. I'll do some more explaining as time goes by. But all good. I've got to log on in a minute. It's Friday. I don't think I've got many sales, but I'm a bit more upbeat. So don't worry about me. I'm doing all right. I'm just worried about you. Are you doing all right? How are you getting on? What's your sales like this week? Are you optimistic for the future? What are you doing to actually merchandise? You've got to get busy. You can't just sit there and accept this. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that eBay is doing it to you. They're not. There's nobody in that organisation sitting there figuring out what he can do to upset you or me. We've got to get out and do what we've got to do to get out of it. And, the advice is out there. You've got to cancel, sell similar. You've got to list new stuff, take new photographs, keywords. It's all that kind of stuff. It's very labour intensive, but I think it's whatever work you do, it stirs the servers get a poke. They get a poke and a tickle. And the listing comes to life and it goes a bit further, you get a few more views and that gains traction and stuff. Some people say that when it's like this, lower your prices, take the hit, but use it to get people into your store, and stuff that you haven't discounted might sell. Because, a listing that's got a bit of views, some of those views turn into visitors to your store, don't they? Sometimes you get 2 people, some people come in and buy 2 things, don't they? So that they've been to your store. Anyway, folks, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It's much appreciated. But I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I'll check you later. Adios.